And Brian, whether it was a big moment for the sport, for the country, for the Olympics, when you look back, what were some of the keys to a successful path for your experiences with the Olympics?
Well, to me, I think the coolest thing about the Olympics is that it's the greatest nationalistic exercise in the history of international competition. Like, I don't like track and field. I could care less about a track and field event. But if a Canadian runner's running, I'm watching. So I watch the field and they announce the field and there's a Canadian runner. Well, I'm going to watch that race. And on the bobsleigh, if I'm not familiar with that team, but they show it's a Canadian team, I'm going to watch that race. So to me, the way it galvanizes Canadian athletes in international venues is just amazing to me. It's the coolest part of it all. And how many times have you done that? You're walking by the summer games, there's a track and field event, you look, there's no Canadian running or no American running. If you're American, you're not going to watch probably, unless you happen to be a track and field aficionado, which I am not. So to me, some of the coolest things has been watching individual performances by Canadian athletes, you know, at Whistler, in Vancouver, watching Sydney and the Golden Goal. And that's the coolest thing about, I think, the Olympics and why it's so important is that it transcends the game itself. It becomes an event. It becomes, I remember when. Like, I remember when this guy won the gold. I remember when this woman won the silver medal, even though she was injured. And it fixes things in time. Athletic events get fixed in time and in your memory as I remember that. So to me, having been part of 2 Olympic Games, that's the coolest part. I remember going to watch the Canadian curlers. We're in Sochi. Curling rink was not far from where we were, and we looked at the schedule, and the Canadian curlers were curling. So we went and watched curling. I'm not a big curling guy, but we went and watched the Canadian team curl. And if you're there for the whole venue, you know, if you're there for the entire thing, you can go to a lot of the different venues. When you're with a hockey team, you got practice every day, then a game, then practice and a game. So you don't get to see a lot of the other venues. But if you go for the entire Olympic Games as an athlete and your schedule's not too rigid, you can go to a bunch of the other events, and that part was cool. The whole thing's cool. The whole Olympic experience is cool, no question.